the intent was to bring him in and then flip him at the deadline, then and recoup a better asset as a result of that, then they were able to do that. And the Ducks have the cap space to go to go out and do this and then eat that space to get a better pick. And so this is a great use of the Ducks cap space, great use of being able to use a retention slot. And this is just kind of some great asset management. It's not going to break the bank. It's not going to be something that that really drives this team into the next gear. But I think what this type of trade and this entire trade tree shows is that Pat Verbeek kind of at least has an understanding of how to work the NHL as a team that has cap space, and that he's not going to just be a guy that is, I guess, kind of like his predecessor would be the way to phrase it.
Yeah, it's a good trade. It's not like,
yep.
I don't think you can get too excited or too anything about it. It's just what they had to do. There was no chance that Lyubushkin was coming back next season. UFA, they're going to do a lot of revamping of the roster this summer. He doesn't fit. Go and send him to a contender. Get a draft pick for him. Use your retention slot to up that value that you get back. It's just what you're supposed to do in the position that the Ducks are in.
Yep. And I would probably argue, even if the Ducks were close to a playoff spot, you would make the argument that they should do this, because you look at what all the young defensemen have done on this roster and what they've pushed for, whether it's a Olin Zellweger, who's now back up with the big club, whether it is a Pavel Minchkov, whether it is a Tristan Luneau, and kind of how Pat Verbeek spoke glowingly about him. And the fact that all Ilya Lyubushkin is going to be, if he were to stay with this club and sign another extension, is a roadblock, or sign an extension, would be a roadblock. And so no matter kind of how the coaching staff or general manager viewed him, he wasn't necessarily a long-term solution for this team. And so flipping him and getting an asset back that is going to be an improvement on what they traded to get him is always the way that they should have and probably would have approached this.
Yep. So it worked out overall for the Ducks. And now the Ducks have 6 picks in the first 3 rounds of this year's draft. So,
sorry, this was a 2025 pick.
Oh, well, they still do have 6 picks.
Yes. Sorry. I thought you were stating because of this. Got it.
Yeah. They have 6 picks. They have a lot of picks. They can do whatever they want with them. They can use them. They can trade them. Obviously not the high-end picks, but they can move those around. So just adding ammunition for future trades.
Yeah. And then I guess the only other piece of it was that the Carolina Hurricanes retained a quarter of Ilya Lyubushkin's salary at $6,875. So that to make the cap hit lower for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So that's the only piece of it. And now we at least have some semblance of kind of where the salary retention, being a third-team barter, what that ends up being at. And so that amount of money resulted in them getting a 6th-round pick. Although this isn't really jumping too far ahead. I don't necessarily see the Ducks being a third team for any of these types of deals as we move forward, because of as we get into the players that could be moved. The Ducks are most likely going to have to retain on their upcoming deals, and you only get 3 retention slots. So for those kind of wondering why aren't the Ducks getting involved like the Hurricanes did on this deal, or like the Devils did on a previous deal that happened on the Chris Tanev deal, the reason for that is you only get 3 retention slots, and the Ducks are probably going to be using all 3 of them this year.
Yep. And they are down to 2.